Well, today we're on a little bit of an adventure, and we're going to pick up a little miniature pony that a guy has, and it doesn't look like it's treated very well. So we have decided to bring it home to add to the collection of animals, the menagerie. And as you can see, we have rented a little van to put him in. Now, we could have probably got him in our car, but I think it might have been uncomfortable for him. Plus, we didn't know how he was going to behave. So this little pony is actually in a area up northern Portugal, and it's called Braga. And the pony is in a little town around Braga, which is called Barcelos, which is actually quite a famous place. And so we're heading over there, and it's pretty far from where we are. It's actually about 3 hours. We picked this up in Coimbra, Europe car. We tried Guerin, which is the other rental car place in Coimbra, and they apparently were out of vans. It seems that now this is van rental season for some reason. So I suppose because it's spring, people start moving and things like that. So we just got this kind of last minute because we had a bit of a hassle trying to organize things with the guy who is selling the little pony. He seems a little bit strange, but anyway. I think the sooner we get that little guy out of there, the better, to be honest. So let's get going. We're at a petrol station right now, so just on our way. So we're going through some little area here. We don't know what this is. Did you see any name tag? Huh? No. Not sure what this is, but anyway, it's just outside of a town called Mellada. Going north. Not far from the coast. We're about 20 minutes or so from the coast. Going to run across the road. Why did we know he was going to do that? It's a kind of a long, tedious, not very scenic drive along this route. But the motorways are really very expensive here. So we're trying to, not unnecessarily spend money, but it will take longer, of course. How much longer does it take? Do you remember that?
This one 3 hours.
3 hours? Yeah, and then what about the motorway? That was only like
1.5 hours.
1.5. My goodness, so this takes significantly longer. So we just saw a sign back there. It's called Malaposta or something. Anyway, there's really nothing that I can see particularly interesting here, but I just thought we'd mention it. We're driving a manual car. We're not really used to it. It's my turn to drive. And we're used to our automatic car, which is really nice. So it's just a question of focusing and remembering to change the gears. Now we've moved out of that busy area that was very built up. There's really nothing to film there. So we're kind of heading a little bit out of the towns. a little more scenic now than it was before. Kind of going on a hilly area here. Past most of the built-up areas. So you may wonder, why are we getting another animal? Since we've got 5 dogs and 4 chickens. Well, you know, I just happened to see that little guy online, and it was just, you know, oh, I gotta focus on the road. It's a little bit hair-raising back there. You have to be careful driving in Portugal. People do some crazy things here. So yeah, so I saw the little guy online. I was actually looking for something else. This is OLX, which is like this on this site where people sell things, used things, and farm equipment, and you know, anything, animal food, hay, animals, and so on. You can advertise just about anything on there. And I was actually looking for something else completely different, and suddenly this image of this little miniature pony just came up. So this little pony just came up, and he really didn't look like he was, judging by the picture, he didn't look like he was being taken care of. He looked all dirty, and you know, his mane and everything was all kind of tangled and dirty looking. And it seemed like from the ad that the guy just wanted to get rid of him, didn't really want anything to do with him. And all he said in the description was pony, 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 pony. That's all he said. No, nothing else. And I thought, oh my goodness, you know, I mean, he wasn't selling for much. It was like 300, so we offered 200, and he said 250, so we accepted. I mean, he doesn't deserve anything, but you know, whatever. So we're just gonna take him, and we're going to, you know, he can live my mom's property in the back, and he can eat the grass, and we'll take care of him, and hopefully we will find a nice shelter for him, or a home for him eventually. So we shall see. So that's the story. But you know, it's difficult because it's so far. But here we are, another adventure. So yeah, it's quite an adventure, and the stress. I really don't like driving in the cities here. You know, it's just not my favorite thing. So yeah, I just don't like driving around in the Coimbra city. I mean, these cities, you know, these old cities were not made for cars. So they've tried to adapt them, you know, by making all kinds of roads and bridges and things and roundabouts, and it just becomes a very complicated mess. Stressful, anyway. I suppose like anything, you get used to it if you're living there, you know, but we don't go there that often, so, you know. But Europe car were, you know, they were nice. They're quite easy to rent from, you know. They're like well, not international. They're Europe, I guess. I don't remember seeing them in the US. So anyway, the little horse just didn't look good. So I think we're doing the right thing by getting him out of there. And the way his owner communicated, you know, by text and stuff was just a bit weird. You know, it shows that probably not someone who should have animals. It's hard to explain, but you know, you just get that gut feeling, you know, and you just have to listen to that. When I saw the picture of him, when he just popped up, you know, on OLX, when I was looking for something else, and he was just there, and I was looking for, I forget what it was now. It might have been hay or something, I don't remember, for the chickens, I don't remember. And so you just get this feeling, it's like, you know, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is giving you a feeling that something needs to be done, you know. So you just follow it. As crazy as it sounds, just follow it. River in Porto, which is the other major city in Portugal, as well as Lisbon, of course. So we're going through Porto right now, on the way to Braga, which is further north. Takes us to Barcelos, which is where we need to get the little guy, and it's quite nice. This area is actually quite nice. It's got some nice buildings. We saw some really major eyesores in terms of architecture on the way here, so it's really nice to see some little bit of beauty for us. The best of it. This is Gilmond. We just passed a village called Villa Seca where the nice buildings were. This one's got some nice buildings too, doesn't it? Stone cottages and things, and then you get this. Oh well, what can I say? Seems like we've lost the art of creating beautiful architecture like our ancestors. Look at that, that looks like some historic building there. Not sure what this is. It's is it a convent or something? Or just a historic house?
Quinta.
It's a quinta. Okay. It's like kind of an estate in a way. It's pretty place. I'm not sure what's around it exactly in terms of visual kind of places, scenery and so on. But the coast is not too far from all these places. River Savado, is it? Yeah. Savado? It was actually the river Savado, not Siva. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And this is very close to Barcelos. But it's a rainy day still.
It's a villa for the skin.
That changes everything. Okay, see that rooster up there? That is one of the symbols of Portugal. The rooster is called the Galo de Barcelos, the Barcelos rooster. And there's actually a story attached to the whole thing. I don't remember it, but it's kind of interesting. It's fun. It's a sort of folklore. Are we going? Well, we made it home with our pony. Wow, what an experience. So we arrived at the place, and it was really, these people were really just living in a slum, basically. You know, it's just these shacks with, you know, like corrugated metal sides and roof and plastic and so on. So anyway, I just needed to get out of the wind. It's very windy. And just into the shed here. I'm going to close the door so it doesn't slam. I'm trying to get the right lighting. Okay, so yeah, he's out here. I'm going to show you in a moment. And yeah, it's just a slum city. I mean, really, it was just very poor people, or just living in very poor conditions. Dogs running around everywhere. They were living near a railway line. Just, well, near an old, I think it was an old disused railway station. It's been closed down or something. And so they got the pony, and he was way in the back somewhere. We didn't even see where he was, but I'm just looking at him. I think he's scratching his sides against the tree. I mean, they were nice and everything, but you know, conditions were just pretty bad. So I was right. He really needed to get out, and he's kind of dirty. His mane's been cut in a weird way, so he really needs some general kind of care. And he was all wet, and like he really hadn't been socialized too well with people. So my guess is that he had been tied up for a long time, just outside, and he was very hungry too, even though he doesn't look thin or anything, but he was very hungry. So he's probably just eating stubble, you know, things like that. Anyway, let's go and take a look at him. He's outside. Now, from what I could tell, these people were gypsies. I have nothing against gypsy people, because they are, in fact, incredible horse people. Well, they used to be, but, you know, a lot of things have changed, and I don't know now. But anyway, here he is. And look, see, there he is. We still have to think of a name for him. I didn't even ask them. But to be honest, I'd rather kind of give him a new name anyway, so we didn't ask. He looks better now that he's dry. He was all wet and muddy looking. Isn't he beautiful? And he looks like a Shetland pony, doesn't he? I'm not sure though. They said he's about 6 years old. That's what the first guy said, the son. And then when we got there, the son wasn't there, but the dad was. He said, oh no, he's younger than 6. But I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really matter too much to us, because that's not why we got him anyway. But they really cut his mane in a weird way. Anyway, like I said, we didn't know what... Come on, darling, come on, it's okay. He's a little bit shy still. We didn't know what condition the place was where they kept him. He's a little bit nervous of the phone, I think. He doesn't know what I'm doing. It's okay, love, it's okay, it's okay. He's just enjoying the grass here. There he is. He's very strong. I mean, his face looks like he might be young. Quiet! Okay, that's Monty over there. He just doesn't know what to make of him. Anyway, I'm going to leave him in peace because I don't want to stress him out. Yeah, he's lovely. Because he's still getting used to things here. I think Monty's barking because he's protective. When we get close to the pony, he just gets a little bit nervous, so I think that's why. Anyway, as I've explained before, Monty doesn't live out here, but during the day he has to be out here tied up because he's just too neurotic, and he will jump over the front and, you know, get onto the road and stuff, and it's the only thing we can do for him. But he's okay. He gets walked twice a day, don't you, huh? Huh? You get homemade food and all kinds of wonderful things. Huh? Yes, I know. But he makes a mess around here. It's a nice day today. It's just kind of breezy and cool though. So there you have it. You know, that's our new addition to the menagerie. And he's still a little bit nervous. He doesn't know what I'm doing. What the hell is that? Now I'm wondering if somebody hit him with a stick or something because of the fact that he's a little bit nervous and he's not sort of very tame, really. I mean, he's not vicious or anything, but he's just afraid a little bit. So it's like he was probably just tied up and kind of ignored mostly, you know. It's hard to say what his real story is, but I am glad we got him. The question now is if we can find a really nice home for him where he can be treated properly. And I'm going to say these people, when we got there, they also had these two dogs. This little black dog. She was so sweet. She was all wet and shivering. She was tiny. She was smaller than Linny. And she had a puppy in a kennel. And I so wish that we could have brought them too, but 5 dogs already. No, it's too much. We can't. And I don't know if they would have parted with them, but they probably would if we'd offered money. But anyway, no more. And I just hope that those 2 little ones are going to be okay. So we can only do what we can. There's just a lot of problems here in Portugal with animals not being treated properly. Dogs, cats, horses, and so on, chickens. Well, nobody thinks of the chickens, but anyway, there we go. We'll soon think of a name for him. He's very strong, really, really strong. I mean, yeah, we don't want to look at his teeth yet, you know, and stress him out, trying to figure out what age he is and this and that. We'll just give him time to settle in, and when he's comfortable with us, we can, you know, start to get a bit closer. Things like checking teeth and all that. His hooves actually look like they're okay. So in the photograph they originally had in the listing, he was on like concrete, kind of like this. This is where we keep him. There's this kind of, this used to be where Monty lived, which is, I think it's awful, but my parents were trying to help him because he was a stray. They didn't know what to do, so they put him in here. But he was never happy here. Never happy. Because he was lonely. I mean, I told them, but I don't know. Anyway, but this is actually quite a nice place for a pony. The wind's been blowing the hay around, but it's not bad. It's got the roof there. We're going to eventually put something here to cover that up so that he has a little more of a nice shelter in there. That's Monty's old kennel. Big bale of hay. So it's not too bad. He seems quite happy in here, and he does all his toilet business over there. He's very clean little boy. And so this is peaceful, and he seemed really happy, like he was thinking, wow, you know, I actually have shelter from the elements. The first thing he did was go under there. It wasn't just to eat hay, it was because he just wanted to probably be out of the wind and rain, because it was raining. Well, we have worked with horses before. Dressage or dressage, however you pronounce it. Horses. In Holland. Only for a short time because it was brutal work. The work was absolutely brutal. Keep this closed so the dogs don't go in there and pee and poo in there and eat pony poo and all this, which they do, unfortunately. Yeah, so the work with the dressage horses was really, really hard because they had us doing mostly the mucking out stables. There's about 20 something horses. And these are big horses, you know. Some of them were huge. And we had to muck out the stables while they were in there most of the time, which was really hard, and you had to do it fast because they're on this really kind of set schedule for cleaning, feeding, exercising, and then putting them out or back in the stalls or whatever. So it was just really difficult. Anyway, yeah, so we do have some experience with them, but still not quite sure how much dry food to feed him. We have some dry food, some of the mixed grain kind of stuff. So we'll see. We'll have to figure that out. They said he was about 80 centimeters tall, but he's taller than that, so I don't know. The dad who was there, that we gave the money to, we offered 250 euros for him. They were asking more, and they accepted. He didn't seem to know how to count the money, so probably illiterate, I'm not sure, but most likely. But anyway, he's more than 80 centimeters. And I'm really glad that I listened to Bab when he suggested renting a van as opposed to putting him in a car. You know, even though our car's quite long, you know. He would be too tall and it just would not have worked. He is way too heavy and too tall, taller than what they said. I'm pretty sure of it. We haven't measured him, but I'm pretty sure he is. Plus he would have made such a mess in there. It just would not have worked. We originally thought he was a real mini. No, those really tiny ones, but definitely he isn't. It wasn't easy driving him in a van because it wasn't a horse box. It was just a small moving van. So we had to go very, very carefully on the motorway. We decided to come back on the motorway because otherwise it would have been a nightmare. But, you know, a couple of times we didn't brake. We had to be very, very careful because we could hear that he was moving against the walls. You know, the front part. So I don't recommend it. It's not a good idea to do that. Maybe if you have a lot of good straps and things to tie them in properly, but we didn't. We had the ropes. It just is not a good idea. It's much better to get a horse box if you can. You know, one of those horse boxes, whatever you call them, that you tow. It's safer. You know, in case you brake suddenly or something, which of course you have to be careful not to do, even with a horse box. But with a van, it's worse. But anyway, we all survived, thankfully. And there he is. Hi, Linny. Yeah, You gonna say hi to Piggy? Oh, look. Careful, she might bite his face. Huh? Hi, darling. There he is. Okay, I'll move out of your way. I want to get it from up here. From a distance, not close up. There, he's just going around the tasty grass. Look at that. Bab's really good with large animals. Horses, buffalo. Grew up around big farm animals. Yeah. Now, we can't let you eat too much because if we do, you're going to put on weight. Because Shetland ponies apparently put on weight very easily. He's already eaten so much today. He looks a little bit big, doesn't he? Like he's probably a little bit heavier than he should be. I mean, weight-wise. So, need to be careful with that. So I should say that we do have to tie him up here. We move him around. Because if he wanders around, he's going to go to the front and eat mom's flowers and cabbages and everything. I know cabbages are not good for them, but he might eat them anyway. And so we have to kind of just keep moving him around here and put him on this long rope. We have to get a bridle for him, so to brush him, a lot of things. But for now, stop it. For now, he's happy. We're just going to give him a few days to settle in before we start anything like that, introducing anything new to him, just to deal with the stress, you know. Stop. Monty's being protective. There he is. He doesn't like me getting too close in case something happens. The bad horse eats me or something. He's not a kelpie. Don't worry. He's not gonna eat me. Anyway, so that's the latest adventure, and the weather has turned for kind of the worst. So for right now, anyway, past couple of days, for some reason, it's rainy, cloudy, and windy. But it's kind of nice in a way too, because at least it's not raining right now. So that's kind of nice. Hopefully it'll warm up soon. So till next time on another adventure. Bye.